What makes a year truly transformative? It's not about the empty promises made at the stroke of midnight or the endless lists of resolutions that vanish before carnival. It's about deeply understanding who you are, what truly matters, and how to live in alignment with your values. This may sound different from what you're used to hearing, but here's a provocative thought. What if the secret to a more conscious new year lies in ancient practices that have stood the test of time? Yes, I'm talking about Stoicism, this practical philosophy that can transform the way you think, act, and live. How many times have you started the year full of expectations only to feel overwhelmed or lost a few months later? The good news is that there's a way out. And no, it doesn't depend on luck or external circumstances. It relies on reflection, self-knowledge, and planning aligned with what you can actually control. Imagine facing the coming year with more balance, courage, and purpose. Setting goals that make sense and overcoming challenges with resilience. Sounds good, doesn't it? In this journey, we will explore reflections that go beyond the ordinary. It's not just about dreaming, but about applying practical wisdom to make your goals achievable and meaningful. It's about recognizing that real change starts within you, with a clear vision of what truly matters. And believe me, you're just a few steps away from transforming your perspective on life. But a word of caution, this is not a text for those seeking easy shortcuts. It's for those who wish to commit to genuine change, a transformation that stems from self-discovery and alignment with solid values. If you feel ready for something deeper, something that will truly make a difference, then keep going. Together, let's discover how Stoicism can be the key to a truly unforgettable year. Knowing who we really are may seem like a cliché, but it's the first step towards any significant change in life. Many people live on autopilot, never pausing to reflect on their actions or thoughts. However, Stoicism invites us to pause and look inward. Imagine taking a notebook at the end of the year and jotting down the most significant moments. The mistakes that kept you up at night, but also the achievements that filled your heart with pride. This practice of reflection is like cleaning a foggy lens. You start to see your virtues and limitations more clearly, something essential for self-knowledge and personal growth. It's interesting to think that this self-assessment shouldn't just be an intellectual exercise, but a sincere conversation with yourself. It's not about pointing fingers or nurturing guilt, but understanding the reasons behind each choice. Let's say you procrastinated throughout the year. Instead of blaming yourself, ask, what was holding me back from acting? Perhaps it was fear of failure or a lack of a clear purpose. From this reflection, you can create strategies to overcome those obstacles. For example, if lack of focus is an issue, try techniques like the Pomodoro method to organize your daily tasks. As you get to know yourself, you begin to perceive what truly matters. Often, we set goals that have nothing to do with our values, but rather with the expectations of others. This can lead to a cycle of frustration and discouragement. Think about it. Is it worth investing time and energy into something that doesn't resonate with who you are? Stoic wisdom suggests that you align your goals with your principles, creating objectives that truly carry meaning. For instance, if you value integrity, focus on projects that require honesty, even if it means passing up tempting shortcuts. Another powerful practice is to celebrate your small victories. Self-knowledge also involves recognizing what you did well. Maybe you overcame a fear, helped someone, or simply dedicated yourself to improving a skill. Valuing these moments creates a foundation of gratitude and emotional balance that strengthens your self-esteem. This doesn't mean ignoring mistakes, but rather giving them the appropriate weight. After all, every failure is a learning opportunity, not a full stop on your journey. The sensation is one of clarity. You understand not only where you are, but also where you want to go. And it is precisely here that Stoicism offers us another fundamental lesson: the focus on control. After all, what good are amazing goals if we get lost trying to control what is beyond our reach? Let's explore this in the next step. There's a transformative power in knowing where to direct your energy. Stoicism teaches us to practically distinguish between what we can control and what is beyond our reach. Think about how many people spend hours or even days anguishing over situations they cannot change, other people's opinions, someone else's behavior, or even the whims of the financial market. The wise Stoic reminds us that all of this is a waste of valuable time. True freedom, they say, lies in accepting what is uncontrollable and focusing on what we can change. our attitudes, our choices, our actions. This lesson can be applied surprisingly simply. Let's say your goal for the upcoming year is to improve your physical health. Instead of worrying about genetics or the speed of results, concentrate on creating habits that you can directly control, like your diet and exercise. Can't change the weather forecast? Swap your outdoor run for a home workout. Don't like crowded gyms? Try online workouts or personalized classes. The key here is to remember that success isn't about achieving an external ideal, but about doing your best within the circumstances you can control. Additionally, focusing on control frees us from the emotional weight of trying to predict the future. Many plan their lives with rigid expectations and then feel frustrated when things don't go as planned. A classic example: you want to advance in your career, but the job market is unstable. Instead of fighting against external forces, how about investing in what's within your reach, like learning a new skill or expanding your network? Online courses, workshops, and even discussion groups on social media can be powerful allies for your development regardless of external conditions. Another benefit of embracing this philosophy is that it reduces stress and anxiety. Imagine entering an important meeting knowing you've done what you could, prepared, studied the topic, and remained calm. The final outcome may depend on factors outside your control, but inner peace comes from the certainty that you did your best. Isn't that liberating? Ultimately, those who maintain focus on control avoid getting lost in hypothetical scenarios and concentrate all their energy on what truly matters. By following this principle, you will find that your goals become more realistic and attainable. This doesn't mean you should think small, but rather that you should shape your objectives around what is within your influence. This creates a sense of balance and prevents frustration. By balancing control with action, you move closer to something greater, living a life guided by virtues. And that's exactly what we will address next. When we talk about virtues, it's easy to associate them with something outdated, almost utopian. However, in Stoicism, virtues are practical, like maps that guide us to better decisions. Wisdom, courage, justice, and temperance. These 4 Stoic pillars are not here to decorate a speech, but to transform the way we live. Imagine the impact of planning your goals based on these virtues. Each decision becomes a reflection of your character, rather than just a response to what the world expects of you. For example, if your goal is to advance professionally, start by applying wisdom. Before taking any steps, ask yourself, is this goal aligned with my values? Consider courage when you need to take necessary risks to grow, such as changing fields or accepting a challenging project. Justice comes into play when you evaluate the impact of your actions on others. Does this promotion benefit only you, or does it also benefit your team as a whole? And of course, temperance emerges to balance extremes, working hard without neglecting your health or personal life. But how can you apply this in practice? Begin by incorporating these virtues into your daily life in simple ways. In terms of wisdom, read books that broaden your perspective, such as Meditations by Marcus Aurelius or Nicomachean Ethics by Aristotle. To develop courage, challenge yourself daily with small tasks that push you outside your comfort zone, like speaking in public or defending an idea in a meeting. When it comes to justice, practice listening more. A simple, "What do you think?" in a conversation can show how much you value others. The interesting thing is that by aligning your goals with these virtues, they cease to be just numbers or material achievements. They become a reflection of who you are becoming. Want an example? Imagine 2 people with the same goal, saving money. One does this with integrity, avoiding fraud or dubious practices. The other cuts ties and ethical commitments in the name of profit. Which one will truly find peace in the end? The difference is clear. One acts with virtue while the other loses their way. And that's the magic of Stoicism. It doesn't ask you to be perfect, but to be conscious. Aligning your goals with virtues ensures that you're growing as a person, not just accumulating empty achievements. And when that happens, it becomes easier to accept an inescapable truth of life: impermanence. After all, even the most virtuous goals are not immune to change. And this is what we will discuss in the next step. Impermanence is one of those truths of life we prefer to ignore, but Stoicism places it right before our eyes, without flinching. Nothing is permanent. Everything changes. It may sound frightening, but this idea is in fact liberating. Imagine how much suffering you could avoid if you learned to accept that things, both good and bad, have an expiration date. Relationships, jobs, achievements, and even difficult challenges, everything passes. Accepting impermanence allows us to live with more balance, without clinging to what we cannot control. In practice, this means learning to navigate uncertainties with resilience. Suppose you planned a dream trip, but something unexpected happens. Canceled flights, weather changes, financial setbacks. A Stoic would look at the situation and think, what is within my control now? Perhaps adjusting the dates, changing the destination, or simply accepting the delay with serenity. Resisting impermanence only amplifies suffering, while embracing it transforms obstacles into opportunities for growth. Accepting impermanence also changes how we view our goals. It doesn't mean we should be complacent or stop planning, but that we need to be open to changes in direction. For example, if you're working to start a business, you should be prepared to deal with economic surprises or market shifts. Instead of abandoning your dreams at the first obstacle, ask, how can I adapt? This flexible mindset is what separates those who give up from those who find alternative paths to success. Moreover, this acceptance helps us appreciate the present. When we understand that nothing lasts forever, we learn to be grateful for what we have now. Think about that heartfelt conversation with a friend, that breathtaking sunset, or even the lesson learned from a hardship. Each moment is unique and precious precisely because it is fleeting. By embracing this reality, we become more present and aware of what truly matters. Impermanence teaches us that failure is not the end of the road, but a step along the way. That promotion that didn't come through, the project that flopped, or the relationship that ended, each carries lessons. When we accept that the flow of life is unpredictable, we free ourselves from the need for absolute control and create space for something even more powerful, gratitude. And that is precisely what we will discuss in the next step. Gratitude is one of those virtues that we often underestimate. It's easy to focus on what we lack, on what we have yet to achieve. But Stoicism invites us to look at what we already have and appreciate every achievement, big or small. Think about your own life. How many times have you stopped to reflect on what you've already accomplished? Perhaps you landed a better job, overcame an old fear, or simply maintained your health during tough times. Recognizing this is not just a positive exercise, it's a way to strengthen your purpose and remind yourself of your values. Bringing gratitude into your daily life doesn't have to be complicated. A simple yet transformative practice is to write down 3 things you're grateful for every night. It could be something as simple as a warm cup of coffee in the morning, or as profound as the support of someone special during a difficult time. Another idea is to keep a gratitude jar. Whenever something good happens, write it on a piece of paper and place it in the jar. At the end of the year, you'll have a collection of memories to reflect on and celebrate. This habit not only boosts your mood, but also helps you realize how much you've already achieved. When we are grateful, our relationship with the future changes. Goals cease to be a desperate race for something we lack and become an extension of what we already value. For instance, if you are grateful for your family, a goal for the coming year might be to spend more quality time with them. If you appreciate your health, you might commit to maintaining a more balanced lifestyle. Gratitude connects us to the present and adds meaning to what we wish to achieve. Moreover, gratitude has the power to transform even the most challenging moments. A Stoic would say, we should be thankful even for adversities, as they teach us valuable lessons. Think of that difficult situation that, despite being painful, made you stronger or revealed who truly stands by your side. Being grateful doesn't mean ignoring the pain. Rather, it means finding something positive, even in the most complicated scenarios. This mindset makes us more resilient and better prepared to face life's ups and downs. The practice of gratitude prepares us for a new cycle with more balance and focus on what truly matters. When we learn to appreciate what we already have, we enter the next year with a lighter heart and a clearer mind. With this state of mind, we are ready to apply all these Stoic reflections to our goals, creating a plan that is both wise and transformative. This wraps up the cycle of Stoic practices that can turn each year into a journey of self-discovery and genuine growth. Now that you've gone through these Stoic reflections, the inevitable question is, what will you do with this knowledge? Knowing is important, but applying it is what truly transforms lives. So take a moment to think, what small actions can you start today to align your goals with what really matters? What can you do to cultivate more balance, gratitude, and purpose in the coming year? Perhaps it's organizing your priorities, starting a reflection journal, or even seeking more information about this philosophy that challenges the superficiality of the modern world. And if change feels daunting, remember, Stoicism doesn't require perfection, but rather a genuine commitment to growth. You don't need to solve everything at once. You can take the first step, and it's this step that sets apart those who remain stagnant from those who are in motion. Ask yourself, what will I choose to leave behind? What do I want to carry with me? The answers to these questions could spark a transformation you never imagined. If this conversation has sparked something within you, why not explore further? Subscribe to the channel, turn on notifications, and stay updated with content that will continue to inspire you and help you apply these ideas in your daily life. After all, living with purpose and balance is not an unattainable goal, but a daily construction. So why wait to start? Now it's your turn. Change begins when you decide to act. The next year can be like all the others, or it can be the beginning of something extraordinary. What will your choice be?